And welcome to this tutorial. So what we have earlier explained is that how we can install the LaTeX in your computer. Now we are going to write a sample IEEE paper by downloading the IEEE LaTeX template that has been explained earlier in the previous video. Excuse me. So as you can see here, we have a lot of clutter here, and everything that comes with this one or two percentage sign, it makes a comment. So what I'm going is I will be having a sample IEEE paper here. I'm going to delete all these clutter so that my paper has an actual look of what I'm going to be having in my paper, because these are some comments for some early, if you want to use it. There is one class file here that are normally for use for inserting the graphics and other stuff. So I'm going to paste it above. So with a comment sign, we are not going to use it right now. And then we have this. I'm going to delete all this clutter way down up till this point. So after this, there is another specialized list package. I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to use this array function as well. So let us go directly to the point where the paper actually starts. I'm not going to use any of these things, but mostly when I sometimes you do require this stuff here. So here is the start of the document. First of all, you will write a sample paper here. So the paper title is my first paper in LaTeX. Now if I textify this document, you can see here this is in IEEE journal format, which is IEEE transaction format. So here comes the title. But if we go in this bare conference title, you can see here this conference title is different. So you can see here the only difference is whatever we can write, we can put it in the both the formats. The class files actually defines the style of the output paper. So I have actually have the both of them for your convenience. So this is the title here, and then next comes, this is the author list. You can just simply write your name here. For example, this is the first author and the second author, and you can write it's his affiliation here was with the Department of Electrical Engineering and other stuff. After this, you will go down here, and then there is the abstract that goes here. So let me show you. This is you just need to paste it here. As far as the abstract is concerned, you put the abstract here, after which you have the keyword. So keyword is the LaTeX, and then my first paper, and then we will be seeing how we can use the superscripts and subscripts. We will be using the tables as well as the figures, and how to itemize a thing in this. And you can see here, if I make a spell mistake, it gives me some suggestions, and we can just replace it. And now if I textify this one, you can see here the abstract is now long. It is all in automatically in IEEE format. We have this index terms, LaTeX, first paper, superscripts, and the subscripts, tables, figures, and itemize that we are going to see in this paper. Also, we are also learning the citation in it, and referencing. Referencing and citation are two different things. Citation in the LaTeX format refers to a scholarly article that we need to cite using the references list. And referencing mean I have one section number 1, section number 2, section number 3. I want to refer that section inside my document, and how I can cite it. I'm using referencing term for that inside the document referencing. And citation refers to some scholarly articles that we are going to cite. Now the first thing is this, that here is we have this our introduction here. So as you can see here, from the introduction we will start our file. The first thing we will be seeing is how we can use how we can itemize different things. So this is how we can itemize the itemize in LaTeX. So first thing is for the itemization, if you can see insert here, you can see a list here: itemize, enumerate, and describe. You can use this one to have in bullets form. Enumerate, it will be having the bullets in the form of numbers. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. So enumerate 3 items. I will click OK. So you can see here I have this one. Item number 1 is my first line. Item number 2 is second object, and item number 3 is the third object. Now after this, it will enumerate the file. If I let me close this one first. If I click it here, okay, so we will be having one issue here. This is /begin itemize. This is not double slash. So whenever you use a begin itemize or an end itemize or an enumerate file, it should always be in this color. If it is not in this color, for example here, this means there is an error. So I'm going to remove this error. I'm just going to again compile this one, and now you will see that it will be having we will be having 3 items with number signs with them. So this is 1, 2, and 3. Now this is overlapping with this T. So what I am going to write is this: how we can itemize the LaTeX. First we will use numbers, then bullets, and then we will learn how to add figures and make tables, and then we will learn how we can add citations in our document. Now first of all, that we have learned this how to enumerate. Now the only difference between enumerating and in having an itemization is this line, which is begin itemize, end itemize. Also we will learn how to add equations in our document, right? So how to itemize is, we will be writing whatever we like. For example, I like to have a subscript file. For example, the first capacitor is C in, right? The first capacitor is C in. The second capacitor is C underscore in. Now whatever you want to have it in superscript, it should comes with a $sign in it. Otherwise it will not going to give you the desired result. It may give you an error. And we will see the third capacitor is C underscore in. Now we will see what is the difference between the 3. We have one without having any subscript. This one is with also the subscript, and this also shows the subscript, but there is a difference between this second item and the third item. Let us textify this document, and you can see here the first capacitor is C in. This C in actually has nothing in subscript. This is the capital form and this is a small form. This one has a subscript but only contains I. The second one, it has not included in the subscript. However, if you have more than one letters in the subscript, for example here we have more than one letter, it is I and N, so we have to put it inside the braces to have this in the proper format. And the third thing we will be learning here is, now let us see how we can add the superscript as well. /item. The superscript is for inductor L1. Now this L1 should also come here with this one. Now if we have multiple in here, we have to put a bracket here, and we can put 101. Now if I textify this document, you can see this one is superscript, this one is the subscript form. And if you want to have only one, if I remove this bracket here, for example, if I remove this bracket, it will be having the same problem as the second bullet here. See, the first one is the superscript, then the rest one is not a superscripted item. So this is how we have learned the three things. The first thing, how to itemize something and how to enumerate something, how we can have a subscript in our system, and how we can have a superscript in our system. Another thing is, after having all this thing, I want to write percentage sign. Now you remember, if I write the result is 100%, 100% okay, then we will be happy. Now the problem is, whenever I am using this percentage sign here, it is going to comment all what is after it. So I will not get the output after this percentage sign. So if you have this percentage sign and you want to use it with a 100% sign, you have to use a backslash, and then you will use this this percentage sign. And if you textify this thing, then you will see this percentage sign here. The most beautiful thing about this LaTeX is this inter word spacing. It has evenly spaced all these things, and the document looks very beautiful. Now we will be learning the third thing. The third thing is how we can add a picture in it. Now if we have some documented picture and we want to put it here, we can have go to this insert item. There is, you can find the objects. Inside you will find a figure here. If you click here, it has given all the code here. Begin figure, use package graphics X. We're not going to use it. Just delete this one. And we have this caption here and the label here. Now let us see how we can put a figure. First of all, we need a figure, and for that figure I have selected, let us suppose this is our flyback. We will be having, this is a JPEG file. I need to convert it into a PNG file because the JPEG will not work in this format. So first of all, let me open it in the Paintbrush simple software. I'll be saving this file as a PNG, and I have to select the same folder in which I am working. So I'm working in IEEE transition. I'll be using this as a flyback. I will save it, close this one, go back here, and I will be writing here as this is flyback.png file. You can also have a different other thing. You can have your figure in a PDF format and you can put it here. Now the width defines how much you want. So I want to have, this is 3.5 inch. I want to have, this is a standard size here. The caption here is the flyback topology, and I will be using a label of flyback dot just a minute, figure dot flyback. Now what is this label? What is this label for? This label actually is if I want to refer this figure in my text. So if I write the result is 100% okay, then we will be happy. So I want figure. Now I want to refer this figure. How I will refer it? I will put this slash command ref, and I will put these brackets here. I need this one. Just a minute. Let me draw this again here. I'll be using it here. You can see here we have one label only available. This is for the figure. Similarly, when we will be adding a table here, there will be a label for the table here as well as for the equations here. I am using this refer.flyback, and after, so I want figure flyback to appear on my paper. Now if I textify this document, you will see that figure will be properly placed in the paper. Okay, so we need to have this include graphics here. We have flyback.png. Now we are having an error here. Let us see what is the error. So we have to find this error before we can proceed. Okay, so entering. Okay, so we need to have a PDF. We need to have this thing here. This should come in action. Now we have to have this package graphics to execute this file. So we will, when we do this thing, it will run. That package is already available, and you can see here we have this file available here, but this is not where we want to have our file. You can see it has badly, you know, placed this file. So what I will do is I will make a small amendment in this thing, because you see you have to first of all you have to make your own code for the figure, so that you never get such type of you know, behavior. So for this thing, if I place this htg, it will automatically place the file in a proper, you know, place. Now if I with this slash with this thing, if I textify this document, you can see here this thing is placed in a proper you know, where I want. So this is, so I want 1 to appear on my paper. Now what is 1? I have not, you know, placed anything, so I want to have this figure dot, and this defines, this is the first figure. Also, if I want to have a figure that should be in, you know, that should be at the top, I will show it later on that how we can have a figure in the top. So if I used a star here and also a star here, and then I execute my paper, the figure will be in occupying the 2, you know, spaces here. You can see here we can have its value over, you know, let us suppose 7 inches here, and let us textify it again. You can see now it is covering 2 columns instead of a 1 column here. Also what we want is, we want to have this in the center, so we will be having centering command here, right? So this centering command will make the figure in the center of the document. Now you can see it was not in the document, now it is in the center here. You can see here it is in the center. So this is how we can have different type of we can use it. So this is now my standard thing, but whenever I am going to put a figure here, I am going to use this one, because so that I don't want to, you know, to play with it later on, that every time when I used to have it, I will put it and then I will use this HTTP file. I am already going to use it. I will make it as a reference file. Now the second thing is, I want to learn how to put a table. Now we often need tables. So for the table, again we can go to the insert file. There is the objects available. We can put the table here. Now this table has a caption here, a label here, and you need to put you know, the table here. Also you can have this table into n into m array. So you actually don't want, I don't want to use this. I will use this tables n into cross, which is a tabular form. So I will be having 5 rows. Let us suppose we will be noting 3 rows and 3 columns. So if I can use it, see here you have this one available, and for everything what you will be using here is h line, means that there will be a top line on the on that column, and this is h line, and this lines actually, these defines that they will have, there will be a line, vertical line after each column. So this is my let us suppose call it C11 and make it like this. This will be my C11. I will copy it, Control C, put it here. This will be C12, first row, second column, and this will be C13, first row, third column. Then this will be C23. This will be C22, second row, second column, and this will be, okay, I have just made a mistake here. I need to put an and sign here, and here start I am going to C21. Then we will be having this C31, C32, and this will give me C33. If I textify this document, just a minute. So we have one error here. Let us see what is this error. The error states that we have 1, 2, 3. We have 3 columns here. So we will be having only 3, you know, bars here, and this will be small l. So now if I go, I'm going to plot it. It will be giving me 3 rows and 3 columns. and the table comes here like this. Now you can see here this table is not in its proper place, so I need to give it a proper shape. That what I will show how we can do. So in order to give your table in a proper shape, you have to make it in the center by giving it a centering command here before this this H line. So I will be using I will be using slash begin table slash centering, right, end tabular, and then slash end table, and let us see what will happen. Okay, now we have this table, but again it is in the wrong place, so we have to justify this one. How we can justify this one? By the same thing, we can have this this thing HTG, and when we will click here, it should come down. So now you can see here your table is here with three rows and 3 columns. Whatever you will write it will come here. Now if I want to have a line after each of this thing, how we can do this thing? This is, we will be using slash H line here, and also here slash H line. Now if I am going to execute this file again here, you can see here this is, we have these 3 lines here. Now I want to have a lines here as well, so that I can use it I think by using these things here. So you can see here, no, I am sorry, I am not getting it. I want to have a line here as well. It is it was it can be, you know, it is available here. I don't remember it right now, but you can always Google it to see how we can add the vertical lines here. And nevertheless, what I want to, again, we need to have a reference of this table as well, so that we can arrange it. So it is also slash label. We are going to label it like this, and then we will be having tab. This is table 1. Now this is our label here. We have labeled this thing, and after this we can we should know how we can cite it here. To put a table, we will be having reference, and when we click it here, we have this table available here. We are going to refer it like this. The third thing is the equation, and now for the equation we will be writing the code. Now for the equation, now if you can go here, there is some, you know, structure available here. No, we don't need this thing. Okay, so where is the equation here? Citation reference label. Okay, this is the equation here. You put an equation, it gives you begin equation, label equation 1. Okay, equation 1, the resultant equation will be shown in equation slash refer. This is our equation number 1 here. Now how we can write an equation? Let us suppose we want to write something in a format. For example, c square is equal to a square plus b. Now this, we don't, in an equation format, we don't need to have the dollar sign available. So this will appear c square is equal to a square plus b. And if I want to have another equation to show you how we can have a fraction sign here, so for that fraction sign, the best thing, because I remember it by heart, the best thing is to how to write fractions in LaTeX. It will give you a lot of formats here, right? and you can just use these formats from here. How you can use a simple equation in it. You can use this slash fraction. You can see here begin equation slash fraction. So if it is a over b, so a comes in the first and b comes in the fourth. So I'm going to write it here as slash fraction, two things here. This is a over b, that will be equal to 500. So if I plot this thing here, if I plot it, if I textify this document here, you can see it will give you this equation, the first equation. You can see here this is equation is shown in equation number 2. So equation number 2 is this equation, because both of them have the same label, so it is giving us an error. So let us rename this as equation number 2 and write it, and the fraction is shown in equation slash refer equation number 2. So now if I textify this document, you will see here that both the equations are shown separately. So the resultant equation will be shown in equation number 1, which is this equation, which states that this is c square is equal to a square plus b square. And as far as in equation number 2 here, this is equation number 2, which is shown in this form, a over b is equal to 500. So if I want to have, you can find a lot of help about the equations in it. For example, if we want to have let us suppose w, so w into a cross b is equal to 500, it will show me this thing. You can see here this is w, a into b is equal to 500. Now if you want to have some special characters inside your equation, let us learn how we can add Roman and special characters in our equation as shown in equation slash reference. We will be calling it equation number 3 for sure. So let us see how we can do it. Control C, and this is Control V, and let us make it equation number 3. Now we want to have, instead of this w, we want to have omega. Now if I want to put some Roman thing, the best thing is again to Google it. So omega in LaTeX. So you will find these LaTeX symbol file. There's a lot of help available by our follow people researchers that helps really helps us a lot. So when we're using, you can see here for alpha you will be writing this slash alpha, for beta slash beta, and for gamma slash gamma, and similarly for omega you have this. Now if you capital this omega, it will be this form. So let us use it here. Slash omega slash omega a over b is equal to slash omega slash fraction of this and this slash al pha and slash pm 500. So let us see what it will generate. Now this pm is a plus minus sign. So okay, so it is giving us an error here. Let us see what is the error. Okay, equation number 3, undefined control sequence. We have missing something here. Slash omega. Okay, let us use this. Okay, let me. Okay, let us use this, although it is not required, but let me make it sure here. Okay, let us check the spelling of the omega. omega, it is not omega, so I have made a mistake. omega, we don't need this dollar sign, as I told you. I was although I heading, and also you can see here, whenever you are having a mistake, if it is omega, it is appearing in a purple color, but if I make it clear like E, it is always in this brown color. So when I going to, so let me stop this first, and when I play this one, it will give me this equation in this format. Now you can see here, if I zoom it a little bit, this is omega a over b, and this is the other omega, and this plus minus sign is for this is because of minus slash pm. So this is the alpha, and this is how we can write the equation, and this equation you can see automatically. Now if I put this equation, equation number 3, if I control this x and I put it here, it will automatically be labeled as equation number 1. And this is the beauty of the LaTeX. We don't need to, again, we don't need to do anything. You can see here, this equation goes here. This is equation number 1, but in this text you can see here the special characters are in equation number 1. Now this equation number 1 is what it was previously equation number 3 and automatically been converted into equation number 1, and the rest are automatically renamed as equation number 2 and equation number 3. Now the next thing is how we can add, we have learned how to put the equations, we have learned how to itemize a document, we have learned how to enumerate a document, as well as how we can use a table in our LaTeX format. Now what we are doing is the final thing, how we can put the references in our paper. So for that, now before going that way, I need to teach you something that is about the sections. Now if you can see here, this is one section, this is section introduction. I can also label this as label, right? I can use this section 1. So this will be our section number 1. So if I want to refer this section here, subsection here, this subsection is inside section, I can refer it here /ref, and we can have a section here. We can use this is our subsection. We can also have a subsection, and other we can simply add these sections by clicking by having it here. For example, this is conclusion here. Now the last thing is how we can add the references. Okay, so the references goes here. You can see here the references is like this. So I actually normally don't want to have my references in this format. I used to make my own file that contains all the references I'm using in a document. So for doing this, I will be uncommenting this one, bibliography trial IEEE transaction, and this one, and I will rename this as the references, references. Now if you don't know how we can make it, I'm going to comment this one, just insert a comment here. Now this is our references file. If you don't know how to make a references blank bib file, just go here, go to the make text file, go to this textworks document here. It will open a new window. In this new window, you can just save this file as as a bib text, and you can write it for example whatever you name, references or blah blah blah, etc., and save it in the same folder. Now if I execute this file, you can see here it will still work, but we have to put the references inside the file to appear in this section after this acknowledgement. So how we can do this we will be learning now. Now for these references, I'm going to use the scholar.google.com, and let us download let us use some paper. So I'll be using this this paper here. Before that, if this thing do not appear in your system, import into bibtext, you have to go you have to click here, go to the settings, and click this bibliography manager icon, show links to import citation into bibtext. After this, whatever paper you will search, it will be having this import into bibtext. I click here, I copy all this thing, and I pasted it here inside. Now let us put another paper here. Let us go back, and we will be having this paper as well. I will be having an import bibtext here, Control C, and I'm going to paste it here. Right now I have to copy this thing after the braces and before this comma, Control C, and I'm going to cite it somewhere in the paper. So let us cite it here in this introduction. The citation begins here / this is not the reference. Now we are going to cite it here, and when we're going to cite this thing, if we just save this file, and if you click it here, let me write it again here /cite, and we are going to paste it here, Morsra 2012 novel, which always refer to this one. And then this one, let it use it somewhere. We can also have a citation inside this thing. So for example, we can cite it here /cite, and this is it. Now if we execute this file, it should be having two references in it. Okay, so there is some error here. Let us first of all, this is not capital sign, this is a small site here. And now if we run this thing, uh, it has, see, it has two references all in complete fashion, including the pp, the year number, and whatever it is. And these are shown here. You can see the first reference is here, the citation begin here, giving us the first reference, and here we have the second reference coming here. Now if whatever we will adding here, for example, let us suppose we add another paper here. We will be using this one, control A, control C, and I'm going to use this one here and copy this one, control C, and I put it somewhere here before this one, right? Document slash site, and put it here. Now if I use it, you will see there will be an automatic update of all the references here. The first two, the first will become the second will become the third, and a new reference will take the place of the first document. So you can see here, this one, the power storage options we have written, it becomes the first reference, and then the second reference becomes the third, and the second reference, so the first reference previously becomes the second, and second becomes the third. So this is the third here, this is the first, this is the second, and this is how you can you can make your paper in IEEE transaction. So you can see here the overall format is very synergetic. We have a lot of it looks very neat in this format, and you play with this, you learn a lot of things. And if you feel any difficulty, you can either Google it or you can comment on this video, and after which we can discuss it. And this overall this overall paper looks very nice when you write it in LaTeX format. And remember, this is just the first time issue. After this, when you will learn, you will be having LaTeX as your primary software to write the thesis and other reports. It will be having a very good impact on your work, and you will love to work in this IEEE format or in the LaTeX format. Whatever you want to write, you can write it. I have seen this the resumes of the different people that they have made in the LaTeX format. So this is all. Thank you very much.